Hello and welcome to my review of the newly released Ruger LCP Max. I'm going to be doing it, I'll do kind of an informal comparison with the Taurus TCP because the Ruger LCP Max is really the one I'm kind of going to be replacing my Taurus with. Haven't decided yet. But anyway, I'm just an intermediate shooter. I'm no pro. I got my carry license less than 5 years ago. Only reason I know that is because it's going to expire in a couple of months. But anyway, so here we go with the review. It's the Max is model 13716. It's chambered in 380. It's a 10+1, and it's a single action internal hammer. There's no manual safety, which I really like. It does have an ambidextrous mag release, but I'm righty. There is a trigger safety, which originally I wasn't too crazy about, but I've grown into that, so I grew into it and went ahead and bought one. It does have a last round hold open. I should have cleared the gun, right? So it is empty, but it's got a last round hold open. The last round hold open drops down pretty easily. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've got weak fingers. I've got small hands. Obviously, you can tell that it actually fits. For me, it fits very comfortably. Even though I think people, men with like normally sized hands, I've got small hands. They really it's probably just a 2-finger gun for them. But for me, I can get at least half of my last finger on there, so I really don't use the pinky extension that it comes with. But let me finish up just with the description, the basic description of the gun. So it's got an alloy steel slide and barrel, both with a black oxide, at least according to the spec sheet. And this frame is supposedly glass-filled nylon, even though it still feels like just a basic polymer frame to me. The purchase on the grip's actually very nice. I do like that, and I'll compare that with the Taurus in a minute. The front sight, it's a tritium front sight with the white, let's see if I can get it on the camera here. It's a white, the white outline. The rear sight is drift adjustable, which is nice. Dimensions and weight. The slide width is 0.81 inches. The barrel length is 2.8. Overall length is 5.17, the height 4.12 inches, and the weight is 10.6 ounces. I'm going to do a weight. I'm going to weigh these with a full mag and one in the pipe because I'm curious what that weight is, because I can definitely tell the difference when I pocket carry. Suggested retail on this is $449, but I got it for $359, which I was pretty excited about. So for those of you who want to run out and get one of these, check out. I got mine at Cabela's in Georgia. I think Cabela's was acquired by Bass Pro Shops, but anyway, they're selling it for $379. And I signed up for a free credit card. If you do that, you get $20 off your purchase. So and there's no fee, there's no annual fee or nothing. So I'm just gonna pay off the credit card and then cut it up, throw it away. So I got $20 off. So $359. I am really psyched for $359. This is an amazing gun. Anyway, what does it come with? Let's see. So it comes with quite a lot of stuff. So unfortunately, it comes only with one magazine. Okay, but I haven't decided if I'm going to buy an extra one yet or not. I know some of you probably laughing at that, but it's really, again, the purpose that I bought it for. It comes with this Ruger cable lock, which I'll never be using, but probably try to sell it on eBay or something so it looks like it's a keyed lock. Comes with this pinky extension, which again I'm not going to use because my hand fits comfortably on it when I shoot. This looks like this is some sort of like a loader. It's not a speed loader, but it just makes it easier to load. When I was putting the rounds in the magazine, I did notice, I'll admit, it was pretty hard to push down kind of that last 10th round. Maybe that's why they have this, but I don't know. Again, I've got small hands, so I can really get my whole finger in there and push those rounds in there pretty easily. I think this is a Cabela trigger safety, so it came with a trigger lock. Sorry, but again, I'll never use that lock. Comes with this holster, which actually I think is pretty good. I mean, it feels relatively sticky. I didn't put it in it. I'm going to get a different holster actually, or I may, when I pocket carry, I use a different system as opposed to this, so I can draw a little faster. So I'll probably end up selling this guy on the internet as well. So what else does it come with? Discount NRA membership, which I'll talk about that a little later. This Ruger sticker is kind of cool. As far as takedown goes, I'll do this in the comparison, but the only the takedown with for this gun is very simple. It's easy. The takedown pin is here. The manual even says to use like a screwdriver. I do not want to scratch this thing up, so all I use is this little it's like a little rigid plastic tool that you use to take computers apart. So I play around with my or I've taken laptops apart and stuff like that. So I just use this thing to pry it out. So it's a piece of plastic. But the takedown is very, very simple. So here's your takedown pin. You take that out, slide this forward. There's your recoil spring and the barrel, etc. I'm not going to take the whole thing down. I think it's simple enough. I mean, if somebody like myself can do it this easily, I don't think anybody watching this video is going to need to see the takedown. When I bought it, it came pretty lubed up, which I thought was a little weird. So every time I racked the slide, there was a little bit of gunk that came out on top, and so I would have to wipe that off. One thing though that does make the reassembly easier is this. If you look in the hole where the takedown pin goes, let me see if I can get on the camera. Right there, there's like a little metal, looks like a little horizontal metal shelf there. Okay, and so what I do is I take this pin, and just like I do with my Taurus, and I'll push down on it, push it in, and see how, you can, I think you can see it going in. So I'll push it in just enough so that it holds that little metal shelf thing down, and then I'll put the slide back on. That way it'll go on very easily, and then I'll just push it in, and then I'm ready to go again. So anyway, let's see what else about this. I can do the comparison, the trigger pull and where it breaks and the reset. There's some other videos on this, but I think I love the trigger on this. And even though it took me a while to get used to the safety, the trigger safety, or whatever you call it. But anyway, you can see the travel until it breaks. And then it's got that little stop in there. I don't know if you can see that too well on my video. And then the reset is pretty short. Oops, did I already? Oh, see, I'm a noob. Okay. But there's no reset because it's single action. Sorry about that. I told you I'm not a pro. I've been a gun owner only for a couple of years. Only shoot once a month just to make sure I'm feel like I know what I'm doing. Anyway, let me compare this root. So I want to compare this a little bit now with the Taurus TCP. I love this Taurus TCP, and I should make sure that this is clear as well, right? So that's clear. You can see down the pipe or down the chamber. Okay, so I really like this gun. I have loved this gun, and it's very easy to pocket carry. The main reason I got the Ruger LCP Max was number one was capacity. And I'd say the second reason is because it is pretty darn similar in every respect to my Taurus. I'm very happy with the Taurus. I'm not a gun snob. I'm not ashamed to say that I think the Taurus, at least the one that I have, and the TCP model that I own, is very reliable. It's very easy for me to shoot. I've got small hands. I do not have problems with recoil. Again, with this one, I get half my pinky on the end of it, so I really don't have any sort of problem with it. But real quick summary of the Taurus, just in comparison to the Ruger LCP. This is a 6+. The Taurus is a 6+1 instead of the 10+1. This is a double action, as opposed to the Ruger LCP, which is single action. And then the hammer is still an internal. There are no safeties on this one, so not even anything on the trigger, which I really like about this TCP. It does have a last round hold open, which to me was important when I bought this, because back then all those little 380s, for some reason, those companies were... They didn't think about putting in a last round hold open for some reason. It's got a stainless steel slide and barrel. It's a polymer frame, very light. The sights, they're fixed, front and rear sights. And I don't know if you can tell, I put these little white nail polish dots on them. But I realized this is really just going to be a point and shoot gun, so I'm not too worried about the sights. I would have been fine if the sights on the LCP were even more minimalized. Because again, I plan for it to be more of a point and shooter. But then again, if it's a bedside gun, 10 rounds, maybe I do need to start training at distances at greater than 10 yards. To be able to use the LCP is a little bit more than just a point and shooter. Dimensions, the slide width is 0.8 as opposed to 0.81, so you can see that it's very similar to the LCP. It's just, or rather, the LCP is just 0.01 inches wider. The barrel length for the TCP is 2.84 inches. The barrel length on the Ruger LCP is 2.8. So it's actually got a shorter barrel, believe it or not. The overall length on the Taurus is 5.25, and the overall length on the Ruger is stated as 5.17. And so if I were to, suppose I were to hold it up, they look about the same. Maybe the angle on my camera. Okay, they pretty much sit right on top of each other, believe it or not. The width is not even, you can't, it's amazing. You can't even tell. You can tell perhaps the width as far as the width of the grip goes, maybe. Okay, but, and then the height maybe because of the, the height. It's a little bit taller, I see. So what they did when they made the double stack, it's, I guess I've heard they call it a staggered stack, right? I mean, all double stacks are staggered stacks, aren't they? But anyway, it looks like they just made it a little taller in order to keep the width of they made the LCP a little taller in order to keep the width in control instead of it getting too fat for people like me with small hands. Because I tried some of the double stack 9s. I was looking at like the what was it, the G26 is a double stack 9, and my hands are too small to comfortably wrap around that grip and shoot it well. There are tons of those subcompact micro mini double stack 9s, and I just was never comfortable with the grips. And when the double stack 380 started coming out, I looked at that CPX 380, CPX 380. There was a couple others that I considered. I think it was a Beretta. I think there was a Smith & Wesson. I can't remember if the Smith & Wesson or maybe not. But there were a couple other double stack 380s that I considered. I think one might have been a Beretta. But anyway, this LCP finally is the one that meets my needs as far as the grip comfort. Let's see what else as far as the Taurus. I should have finished up with the Taurus, some of the things that it came with and the retail just for comparison purposes. So the LCP, I spent $359 or got it for $359 before tax. My Taurus I got for $234. So about $100 less, a little bit, I paid a little bit more than $100 for the Ruger, but I gladly would have paid the $450 that it normally retails for. I had to pay, this was normally going for $199, but I had to pay $35 for the FFL. That's another reason I really wanted to get my LCP at Cabela's, because I didn't want to deal, just the $35-50 for the FFL I didn't want to deal with. The Taurus came again also with only one mag, but there was no pinky extension, unlike the LCP gave me. There was no loader, there's no pocket holster, no cable gun lock, there's no nothing, no trigger lock that I got, even though it was kind of a cheap one with the Ruger. I didn't even get I got the sticker from Ruger, didn't get anything from Taurus. I did get a free 1-year NRA membership, so Ruger gives you this discounted membership, and so with the TCP I got a free year. That's the only way I would join the NRA, but that's a separate topic, I suppose. Anyway, let's talk about some comparisons. So I guess I did some of the physical comparisons. If they come to mind, I'll mention them. But let's see, reliability. To me, reliability is the single most important thing of any weapon. Okay, both of these were 100% reliable. Or this one, it has been. This one, I've only fired about 100 rounds, less than a box actually, or less than 2 boxes. So almost 100 rounds, flawless. Okay, my TCP has been, I'd say, 99% flawless as well. I think the times that maybe I'll get a failure feed or something, it's because maybe I'm limp wristing it or something, and it's not, the recoil isn't chambering the next round or something like that. But I know this TCP has had a reputation for at least the earlier production runs for having some feed problems, but I bought this one late or much later, and I have never had a problem with this guy. So I really, I really like this. Loaded chamber indicators, I just realized the Taurus one is so minimal, I can't even tell. This one, you actually can see the, if you got one in the pipe, so that's kind of convenient. So you don't even have to deal with colors or feeling for something sticking out or anything like that. Let's see, there was reliability. Accuracy, I have always thought accuracy doesn't depend on the gun, it depends on the shooter. So I've been puzzled by how gun reviewers talk about accuracy. All I can say is I shoot equally accurately with both of these guys. And they're in what does accurately mean? At 10 yards, I'll hit about maybe 8 or 9 inch circles, groups, okay? Which isn't too bad, I don't think. Everyone wants that magic 3-inch group or 6-inch group. I don't care. I mean, unless the bad guy has a torso that's, 3 inches wide, I'm not worried about shooting those kind of groups. So I feel pretty accurate. And the way I train at the range, I do some pretty weird stuff. I practice one-handed right hand and one-handed left hand. I practice with both eyes open. I practice with my flashlight. I do some weird things. I got in trouble one time at the range for I connected a heavy piece of cardboard so it would swing back and forth, and I was even practicing shooting that thing while I was swinging back and forth, trying to shoot at a moving target, that kind of stuff. Got kicked out of one range one time for shooting it. I tried to I asked if I could use 2 lanes, so I was, but they probably thought I was thinking of something else. But what I wanted to do was shoot 2 different targets back and forth, and 2 different, got kicked out for that one. But anyway, my practice regimen, I try to make it as realistic as I can in an indoor range. And so that's why I do some of that stuff. But anyway, accuracy for me has been the same. Recoil, both very easily manageable. For the Taurus, a lot of people, again, they're the ones with more normal size, larger hands. Even though I don't get all 3 fingers on the grip, I think maybe what it is I don't know, maybe I can just wrap it around or something about the grip on the Taurus. I really have no recoil problems at all with this. The Ruger LCP, I even have less. I mean, it feels like my 22, my little blinker. I mean, it hardly has any felt recoil. And so doing, one of the ways I practice is I do what do you call it? Like, I'll shoot 2 real quickly, pause, 2 real quickly, and then I'll do groups of 3. Okay. And so, for me to, re-aim or just, to fix my sight, for the second and third shots is actually not hard at all. With either one of these. Okay, so I guess that's recoil. As far as carrying, both of these are very easy to pocket carry. It's not surprising. This one, I can definitely feel it a little more. So the pants, I can't really wear my suit. I can't wear suit slacks, so I unfortunately have to wear a jacket and tie to work. And so I'll actually wear like nicer khakis that have a little bit more rigidity to the fabric when I pocket carry this. As opposed to this guy, I can pocket carry in anything, even shorts. The draw on both of these they're very similar. As a matter of fact, I can't even tell the difference. They're very smooth. Which is not surprising because both of these, as a matter of fact, the Taurus might have more sharper edges in terms of the draw, although I think the Taurus draws very smoothly out of my pocket. The Ruger, the LCP is really smooth. I mean, just no corners, nothing to snag on. It's also the reason why I'll never buy a gun that has an exposed hammer, because I just feel like, especially single action, if that thing's cocked, I've always wondered, how am I going to get that out of my pocket? Some of you probably thinking, well, don't pocket carry, put it in a holster, but for various reasons, which I won't get into, I prefer pocket carry. Let's see. Let's talk about some differences. The trigger pull is one of them. For the Taurus, the trigger pull is, I'm paranoid, I always check to make sure it's empty. But the trigger pull is much longer. There's a much longer travel on this. Maybe because of the double action, I assume, and so is the reset. Okay, but the trigger pull weight is strangely, it's very, I don't know if this is strange or not. I always thought double action guns would have a heavier pull than a single action. But this Ruger, which is a single, or pretty much a single action, it's got a 6 pound 7 ounce trigger pull, whereas my Taurus has a 4 pound 11 ounce. So it's a pretty